Good evening, I'm Keisha Butts with the CTV News Update. Lawmakers in Annapolis have a long day ahead of them. It is sine die, the final day of the legislative session. Items that could see some action today include two of Governor Larry Hogan's criminal justice priorities. One would create harsher penalties for crimes involving guns. Republicans support the measure, with the Democrats saying it doesn't address the underlying causes of crime. Lawmakers are expected to work late into the night.
The motion for the House is to not to concur in the Senate amendments. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendments are rejected. Clerk will read the message to the Senate.
Other legislation that could see action would publish the sentences judges hand down in criminal cases. Democrats say it would inject too much political pressure into the judicial system. Meantime, the Maryland legislature votes to override Governor Larry Hogan's veto of paid family leave over the weekend. The bill, known as the Time to Care Act, was enacted on Saturday. Hogan vetoed the measure Friday. The paid family leave bill will create an insurance program that will allow employees to take up to 12 weeks of partially paid leave to care for a sick loved one or a newborn baby. A group of advocates, elected officials, and community leaders gathered outside the State House in Annapolis to push for legislation aimed at more transparency in the court system. Bills in the Senate and House call for Zoom access to court proceedings. Some courthouses in Maryland, including Prince George's County, allow the public remote access to judicial proceedings, but the organization Court Watch wants to make it statewide and permanent.
And the main focus is the fact that we are trying to keep Zoom access in our courtrooms, and this will help our disabled, this will help the community members, this will help our law students, this will help our court watchers. And we're trying to maintain transparency, but we're also trying to help support loved ones that are waiting to see the judge.
Johnson says the measures were not voted on this session, but she vows to bring it up during the next legislative session. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed 433 new cases. The positivity rate in Prince George's County continues to inch up. It's currently at 2.68%. 6 Marylanders have died of COVID in the last 24 hours. 142 people remain hospitalized. Well, a Silver Spring woman is in the hospital after being shot in a home invasion incident early this morning. The incident happened at the 12,000 block of Stravinsky Terrace just after 12 a.m. The woman was taken to the hospital in serious condition. Montgomery County Police are currently investigating the incident. You're watching CTV News. I'm Keisha Butts. Coming up, a touring exhibit in Freedom's name is now showing in New Carrollton. We'll take you there after the break. Stay with us.
1 in 365 African Americans battle sickle cell disease. I was one of them. Life back then was painful. I was in and out of the hospital and had frequent pain crises. A blood stem cell transplant is the only cure for sickle cell disease. I was fortunate to find a perfect match in my younger sister, but many patients do not have a compatible donor in their families. And Black patients have only a 23% chance of finding an unrelated donor. More Black donors are urgently needed to help save lives. It only takes a simple cheek swab to join the Be the Match registry. Learn more about becoming a donor and access free patient resources by visiting endsicklecell.org today. You or someone you know could be the cure for a patient battling sickle cell, like me.
To Sofia and Gabriel, mis flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you. as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Thank you for staying with us. A Howard University Law School student says Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation to the Supreme Court was a very emotional moment for her. Rebecca Doherty was in her constitutional law class when Jackson was confirmed by the Senate last week. Jackson will be the first Black woman to ever hold the title of Associate Justice. Doherty says Jackson's historic ascension to the court is significant for the Black female law students at Howard.
I believe that the American thing to do is to have a representation of what the American society is in the highest seat of the court of the land, the Supreme Court of the land. And I also believe that it's a clarion call for every other branch of government, every other entity in the American society, whether it's in the private sector or the public sector, that when a collective body comes together to make a decision that impacts a population group, that population group should be reflective of the decision-making body.
Doherty says she would love to clerk for the soon-to-be Justice Jackson. The late Justice Thurgood Marshall, the first Black person to serve on the High Court, is a graduate of Howard Law School. Have you heard about the first group of African-American women to serve in the U.S. Navy? What about Dorchester County native Harriet Tubman, who served in the Civil War? Well, now there's a touring exhibit currently at the New Carrollton Library where you can learn more about Maryland veterans.
African-American history is such an important part of our history. As a historian, we often find that it's treated separately as African-American history, but in reality, it's our history.
More than 200 pictures are on display as part of the In Freedom's Name exhibit. Co-curator Glenn Johnston says it highlights the achievements of Maryland's African-American veterans from 1641 to 2007.
The In Freedom's Name exhibit commemorates and celebrates the history of African-Americans in the United States, specifically the history that deals with the expansion of freedom in the U.S. and around the world.
The In Freedom's Name exhibit features more than 60 stories of African Americans who served in the military here in Maryland. One of the stories is even about Harriet Tubman, who served in the Civil War. This panel showcases the first African American women who served in the U.S. Navy. And this one, which stands out to Johnston, is about Maryland's Rosie the Riveters from World War II.
There was lots of reasons why the companies did not want to hire them, but in the end, the women proved to be so successful and so good at their jobs that they ended up taking position in almost every job that there was open to women, including riveting ships.
Not only can you learn about the history of veterans, you can also learn about Maryland trailblazers like Thurgood Marshall and Matthias de Souza.
He was elected into the Assembly of Maryland, the first African American elected into a government position, an assembly position in the 13 English colonies.
Johnston just hopes we can all learn something from the In Freedom's Name exhibit.
We started out and I thought we were going to have maybe 6 panels worth of information. And the more I dug, the more I really realized I got a lesson in terms of the importance of African American history, the expanse of it.
The In Freedom's Name exhibit will be at the New Carrollton Library until April 26th. It will then be on display at the South Bowie branch starting April 28th. The County Council will choose the successor to their colleague Derek Davis, who announced his resignation last week. Citing the county charter, officials say they will appoint a replacement within 30 days. Interested persons have to send letters of interest and resumes to Council Administrator Robert Williams. They should be emailed to the address on your screen. The deadline to apply is Thursday, April 21st. And we'll be back with more in a moment. Stay with us.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Welcome back. A man is still in the hospital after a suspected road rage shooting in Anne Arundel County yesterday afternoon. The incident happened on northbound 295 prior to Arundel Mills Boulevard around 4 p.m. They say a man whose identity has not been released was driving this vehicle with a 1-year-old when he was shot. The child was not injured. The suspect was driving a gray sedan, possibly a BMW. Anyone with information on the shooting is asked to call the number on your screen. A memorial service was held today for a longtime D.C. news anchor, Bruce Johnson. The service was live streamed. Johnson was a staple on TV screens across the DMV for over 40 years. He joined USA 9 in 1976 and stayed at the station until his retirement in December of 2020. Johnson recently released a memoir titled Surviving Deep Waters. He died from a heart attack on April 3rd. Bruce Johnson was 71 years old. A professional athlete with ties to the Washington football team dies tragically over the weekend. Dwayne Haskins was hit and killed by a dump truck Saturday morning in Florida. According to reports, Haskins was trying to cross a highway near Fort Lauderdale. He died at the scene. Haskins was picked up by the Washington Commanders in the 2019 NFL Draft. The quarterback played 2 seasons with the team and was later signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was 24 years old. Well, switching gears, turning to your weather forecast tonight, cloudy with lows around 52 degrees. Tuesday, a chance of showers with highs in the 70s. Wednesday, partly sunny with possible showers, highs near 81. Thursday, partly sunny again with a chance of rain, highs around 80 degrees. And now for the community calendar. Clean out those closets and get ready for spring. Riverdale Baptist Church is hosting its annual Community Day and yard sale. Vendor registration is now open. The event takes place Saturday, May 7th from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. A rain date has been set for May 21st. Register for a space now by using the link or on your screen, or you can call 301-249-7001. And that's your CTV News Update. I'm Keisha Butts. Have a good night.